All right, welcome back to the show. Albert Vartanian, Justin Pooney here with you on the Homestand Show. Okay, so the USA beats Canada, CONCACAF Nations League Final 2-0. Canada were never really in the game. They missed an opportunity to win a trophy for the first time since the Gold Cup in the year 2000. They couldn't pull it off, and it just... The performance didn't sit well with me. It's one thing losing a final to a better team. It's fine. But it's another thing to what we saw last night, which they were out of sorts. They looked nervous. Some players... I think Alistair Johnson didn't really look fit. Some of the selection by John Herdman wasn't great. You know, sitting Stephen Vittorio came on for a 30-minute cameo, looked pretty good.
Where was Tejon Buchanan?
Buchanan. Alphonso Davies, I think, was trying to do too much. And I completely understand why. Nothing was working for the team. But it was just it was sad. A bit of a sad performance from Canada.
Yeah, I think we'll play the Herdman clips in a minute here. But, like, it was just, like, from the jump, they just looked completely unprepared, not ready, not interested, right? Just flat, right? And you said this is the first final they're in for the first time in 23 years. And this is becoming kind of a theme with Canada soccer, especially the men's side, right? Not showing up when it matters the most, right? Say what you will with the World Cup and stuff like that. They had a really good first game, really good first couple minutes against Croatia, and after that, they never really showed up.
Really good performance against Belgium.
Yeah, the first game.
This was not that.
No.
This was not even close to that.
They did not show up
whatsoever. And also, I don't want to hear about excuses. I mean, USA are missing some key players on their own end. And I get it. They had more days, 10 days preparation, and Canada only had 4 days. But, I mean, this is probably not the time for that. Let's play this clip from John Herdman immediately after the final whistle.
What do you think went wrong tonight?
I think we left it all out there. I thought Canada gave a great account of themselves in a final. Set pieces, we got done on the first one. They were very dominant in that space. But that's what 10 extra days of preparation gets you. You know, this team were ready to play a final. I thought our lads give it everything. They left it all out. They can be proud. We had a lot of chances. Just didn't take them. I thought there were some moments there where if we took our chance, it's a different game. But US, they took care of business. They were very resolute tonight and defensively sound.
We gave a great account of ourselves. What?
He's not going to throw his guys under the bus.
I understand. I understand what coaches do, protecting their players. I completely understand that. But you can't say that after that game. There's nobody who watched that game who would even think that.
Yeah.
Great account of ourselves.
No,
not at all. That was, like I said, one of their worst performances maybe in the last 5 years.
We've gotten so accustomed to seeing Canada, the men's side, play well throughout the whole World Cup qualification.
Not even play well. Play with energy. Play with effort.
Play with some swagger, right? Like, they didn't play with nothing yesterday. They came out so flat.
Poor,
you know, the U.S. dominated. The Canada's back line looked just complete mismatch, right?
I thought Herdman, I think he's pretty bang on with his team selection. Most of the time, it's usually the same. And tactically, he can change formations throughout the game to game. He's good that way. But I thought he got the team selection wrong. I mean, starting Scott Kennedy over Stephen Vittorio in the middle of a back three, that's a tough job for Scott Kennedy. He got done. He didn't look great. He got pulled off. And then Vittorio comes on for 30 minutes and looked great. You know, benching, Sam Adekugbe, I was not expecting that. He was obviously one of their better players throughout the qualifying campaign and even at the World Cup. So I thought some of the selection was wrong. I just didn't like that comment. We gave a great account of ourselves on the pitch. They absolutely did not.
No, they looked horrible. Like, it was a complete and utter just lack of performance from this side. And it wasn't
just that. You see, I mean, you can look at all the stats that you want, but just watching the game, who won most of the second balls?
USA.
Who won the 50-50s?
USA.
That has nothing to do with skill and talent. That's just hard work.
Hard work and, playing like a team, right? And you said, like, people are coming after Alphonso Davies for doing a little bit too much. Well, if you saw the way the game was flowing, he kind of had to take things into his own hands because nothing was transpiring whatsoever out there on the pitch.
He was trying to do way too much. There was one point where he beat a man at the top of the box and he was trying to take a huge swing with his right boot and it just went nowhere. And it's the play of Tejon Buchanan was upset, you can tell. But I understand what Davey was doing. And listen, I don't want to completely bury John Herdman here. That's not what I'm trying to do. I didn't like that statement. I think if you asked him, if you gave him some truth serum, aka a couple of beers, he'd probably tell you the truth and be like, yeah, no, we were horrible today. But the reason why Canada are in this position, one of the main reasons, is because of him.
Mm-hmm. Well, think about
this whole program changed because of John Herdman. Let's not forget that.
Exactly.
But he can't come out and say these things.
But I also think he understands that Canada soccer as a whole is in a position where it's easy to put all the blame on them, right?
Yeah.
And when he's being asked questions about funding and this and that and preparation, and he can throw all the blame off his players for not showing up and put it all on, the organization. That's kind of what he did. In his post-game comments, he said, we need to take this more seriously. We have a World Cup coming, and if we want to really compete, we have to take this seriously, put more money into it. He's not wrong about that.
We actually have that clip, so let's play it. Let's play the one Herdman on Canada not being serious about winning.
We've got the best generation of players we've had, and there's more coming. You can see it. Young Cornet just dropped out of the sky. Tejan Buchanan just dropped out of the sky. Ali Johnston, it's coming. That supports. We've got to figure this out financially. We've got to get serious about winning a World Cup. When you play at home, you get a chance to win it. You get a chance to get to a semi-final, a quarter-final, semi-final, and then get on that road to win it. And we're not serious. We've brought a World Cup to our country, and we're not serious about winning it. And you see how close that team is tonight. Tactically, we were there. Chances, shots, we were there. The margins were so tight tonight. So tight.
It's just not the right time for that. I understand what he's saying, and I think he's right.
He's absolutely right.
More money needs to be put into the program. But this is not the right time to bring these things up. This was a golden opportunity. And I understand it's been a very long season for a lot of these players, especially ones like Stefan Eustachio who play in Europe, right? You have the World Cup sandwich in between your club season,
Champions League,
all that stuff. And then you have this. I get it. The players are tired, but the USA didn't look too bad. But they have a lot of tier one players, as Herdman likes to say.
The excuse is going to be that the US had 10 extra days to prepare.
I get it.
Right?
I get it.
If Canada won that game, we would have heard none of this, right? We would have all been talking about the fact that, this is the stamp of the golden generation of Canadian soccer. This is it. They won a trophy. They showed the States. They won in America. They did it, right? But they lost. They played poorly. And the easy thing to flip the blame to is Canada Soccer, not the players, right? Not the coaching staff. We need more money. We need more time. We need more of this and that. That's what the excuse was always going to be if they lost this game. And that's what's happening, right? It's easy to throw all these shots and not take accountability what happened on the pitch. Look, absolutely right. Canada Soccer has not funded this organization on both the men's and the women's side at all. And quite frankly, it's been an embarrassment, right? The fact that John Herdman, every press conference he seems to do right now, has to answer questions about how, the lack of funding, the lack of resources every time, that shows something, right? This club has players on the biggest stage in world football, world soccer, right? And the fact that Canada has to, it looks so bad because we can't, put together a proper organization. It's embarrassing, but listen, the performance was embarrassing last night as well.
That performance had nothing to do with money and funding. This is what went down. They didn't show up. The players did not show up. They didn't play well. Herdman got his team selection wrong, and he waited too long to make substitutions. Alphonso Davies was trying to play hero ball, and it didn't work. That's it. Yeah. And now, transitioning into the Gold Cup, which starts next week, I believe. Next week. It's time. I think this is a good time for some turnover, for a reset.
Yeah.
Some players need to be taken out of this side. I don't want to bury Milan Borjan either, but I think it's time that he no longer is the number one keeper for Canada.
Would agree with that.
Dane St. Clair could probably take that role. Hopefully Maxim Kripal, when he gets healthy, he can come back. But here are the team. So people should know the Gold Cup, you're going to get weakened squads, so these international sides. You're going to miss some big players as expected. So no Alphonso Davies, no Jonathan David, no Buchanan, Kone, obviously Atiba Hutchison, who's done. Apparently he's retired, right? So this was the CONCACAF final was his last game. He will not be there, as is Kyle Laren. Eustachio, Hoylett, Vitoria, and Borjan will all be at the Gold Cup.
Before we go on, maybe we explain to everybody why they do these weekend squads in the Gold Cup rather than the Nations League. Is that for any certain reason? Well,
listen, in the Nations League, when it comes to a final, you got to play your best of the best.
Yeah.
But the Gold Cup notoriously has been a place where international teams use youth and younger players. And a lot of it has to do with, like I mentioned, European club seasons and those long seasons heading into the international window. These players need some time off. And Alphonso Davies, this is way before the Gold Cup even popped up. I think of him and his agent were talking about how he's probably not going to be there.
Yeah, and I think, look, it's going to give these younger players a chance to show that there is the next generation of Canadian soccer. This is where Tejan Buchanan, last Gold Cup, exploded onto the scene, right? So that's a great opportunity for young players. It's a good opportunity
for them. Disappointing for Canada, but listen, the future, I still believe, is very bright for Canada. Okay, coming up after the break, we're going to play a little game, Fact or Fiction, with me and Justin Pooney here on the Homestand Show.